Congratulations! You're the proud owner of a brand new ENS domain name. But now you want to transfer it to a new owner or just to a different public address. Well, let's discuss. Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together, welcome to Minting Coins. So we've been talking a lot about these new ENS domain names, and everyone is really excited. It's a whole process. You have to wait for your domain name to be available for auction. You have to bid on that domain name within 3 days, and then you have to reveal that domain name within those 2-day period, and then after that 2-day period, and you win that domain name, well then you still need to finalize that domain name. But after you do the finalization, then you are the owner and holder of that brand new ens.eth domain name. But for one reason, you want to transfer that domain name from your account to a different account. Maybe you sold it on a secondary market, or perhaps you just want to switch it from being under one public key where maybe you don't have very good control of your private keys. Maybe you want to transfer it to your Trezor or your Ledger Nano S because that's a much safer place for you to hold your cryptocurrency and now your ENS domains. And so how do we transfer that? Well, we're going to go over the simple and exact process that you need to know to transfer your ENS domain name from your account to another public address. And so with that, let's discuss. Cool. So real quick, looking at the coinmarketcap.com, just for historical reference purposes, we have Ethereum blowing past the historic $100 price point up all the way up at $120 plus. Bitcoin over $1,900 at $1,939. Again, I think the sky is the limit, and even though the markets go up and the markets go down, I'm expecting to see these increase even further as the year progresses. Taking a quick peek at CodeTrack.io, we see that 81,000 auctions have been started with 27.27% of the names being released to the market. And so when you are purchasing and searching for your ENS domains, we have my Ether wallet, which is just an amazing, incredible, really heart-filled project that just has a lot of coding, a lot of thinking, a lot of strategy involved in terms of helping you manage your private keys, your wallets, your cryptocurrencies as they relate to the Ethereum network. The people behind my Ether wallet are doing it open source under the MIT license, which is significant, and they're doing this for the community. And so it's great that they're here. I really appreciate the fact that this website exists, and after you start using it, if you're not already, you might appreciate it too. And what I recommend is that they have a swap coin exchange down here. You can use this. It really helps them. It really supports them. They have their, buying ledgers and nanos, just like I have in my descriptions below. But anything we could do to help them, since they're doing so much to help the community and they're not charging us any money to use this service. And so I feel like we're really lucky. So after you secure your domain name and you own your domain name, this is the simple process to then transfer the ownership. So from myetherwallet.com, we click on contracts and we see this screen. Under select existing contract, we simply select ENS-ETH registrar auction. It's going to fill in this information with the ABI JSON interface, and then we're going to access. Under the read-write contract drop-down box, we're going to simply select transfer, and then this will open up the last couple options for us here. So for the last three fields, variables, we're going to need to transfer this domain name. We're going to need our hash, and I think this could be labeled a little bit better, and this could say the label hash, but this has hash bytes 32, and then the new owner address, and then our public information. So real quick with the hash, how do we get the hash information? Well, if you saw the last video, we talked about etherscan.io. Etherscan.io is another fabulous tool that is an Ethereum block explorer. It gives us a lot of information about what's going on out there. And so we could do an ENS lookup under the miscellaneous. If you had to go there directly, we have ENS lookup, and you can select ENS lookup, and then in this box right here we can pop our ENS domain name. I just threw anyone in here. We have sportsbet.eth. And so this isn't a domain name that I own. I wish I had that much ether. How much is this they bid? 17 million? I wish. Not even close. Let's see. And so here we have the label hash and then the name hash. And as we discussed yesterday, the label of the domain, in this case sportsbet, is hashed with a separate cryptographic hash as the whole domain sportsbet.eth. And so they do this to make it really clear the difference between sportsbet.eth and sportsbet. Whatever other domains they actually come up with in the future, because by no means is this the only one that I'm expecting that we're ever going to see. I just expect that this is going to essentially become the .com of Ethereum. And as we know today, with hundreds and hundreds of domain extensions on the existing internet, .com is still king. And so I expect that we're going to see ETH to be still king in the future. But I digress. Getting back to the topic here, we want to take this label hash. We want to copy this label hash and then come back here to where it's asking for our hash and simply paste this hash in here. So we copy the label hash from the etherscan.io block explorer for our domain name, and we need to make sure that this is all lowercase. They don't do, well, I guess it doesn't matter. So they're actually still showing you, why is this happening? Okay, so let's look here. So I changed it to a capital letter, and the coding of their website is keeping it a capital letter, but in the information that this website is spitting back out to me, this is still all lowercase. So this, even though it shows a capital P here, there's no capital P here, and so this isn't exactly 100% accurate in terms of how this information is being presented, but fortunately this is the number that we would want in this example, and then simply paste it here. All right, super easy. Then we put the new owner's address here. We click how we have our private key. So if you have a manual, if you just copy and paste private key, you're going to type it in manually. You can type in your private key here. If you have your ledger or your Trezor, you can select those just the same. You would connect your Trezor, put in your key, or select private key and put in your key. So after you put in the new owner's address here, and then you unlock your wallet, you simply click write to write that request. And then if you're using your ledger or your Trezor, you're going to confirm that this is a transaction you want to make. It's usually 3 confirmations. And then you'll click confirm on my Ether wallet. And once you you'll click write on my Ether wallet, you'll click confirm that transaction to post that transaction to the blockchain. And once that transaction is posted to the blockchain and it executes, that's done. That domain is practically instantly transferred. As soon as that information gets hashed in the blockchain, that domain will instantly be transferred to whatever that new address is. So if you own that new address, you'll still be the owner. But if it's someone else's address, then that domain is gone. The 2 last points I just want to mention with this whole process is that first, there's going to be a verification button to check. And so always click that verification button to make sure that that transaction gets posted to the blockchain. And then, to double check it, then you can put your domain back in this website here at etherscan.io and to verify that the new owner, so what's a domain name that's owned? Exchange. Okay. So what do we have here? C53. Yep. And so this is in this example right here, we have exchange, and so the highest bidder was 12,888 ether, and they ended up locking in over 6,000 ether. The address owner who won this is their address right here, as we can see in etherscan.io, and this is the address that finalized the auction. So they are now in possession of this domain name. When we look up the owner, who the owner is right now, this is the same address, right? So it starts with 0xDC 5C30 5C30. So this is the same owner. If this owner was different, the new owner would show up right here. So if you transfer this domain name from one account to another account, whoever finalized this auction and won this auction with the high bid, this is going to be their address right here. And whoever currently owns this name, then their address will be right here. And then we can also see the resolver and the TTY. The resolver is essentially where this gets redirected to, let that be a person or a smart contract, as we talked about in the previous video. And then also the TTY is just how long it takes for the information to resolve around the web. So it's a technical feature, how fast you want that information to process through. And so that's all that information. And then one last detail. The very last detail is that the wallet that is the wallet you're starting with that has possession of the domain name, when you want to transfer it, you have to have a little bit of ether inside that address in order to pay the gas to make that transaction. So just like finalizing or revealing your bid, it doesn't, you don't need to pay any ether directly to do that, but you do need to pay gas in the form of ether directly to make that transaction go through. So it's that small, 50 cents or $1 to actually send that transaction. So you do need to have, the smallest amount of ether in there, depending on what the gas charges are at the time, which is a whole other topic of conversation. So with that, that's a lot of information. Again, we have the contract tab here in my Ether wallet, but that concludes this video and this information. I'm really thankful for my Ether wallet. Without my Ether wallet, this would be a much longer video for me to go through the different ways that I would trust executing these actions, because these domains are really precious to us. These domains are really important to us. These domains are really unique. Only one person can own one of these names, and if one of these names gets lost, then that name is gone. And if you lose a couple ether, then that really hurts. The thing with the ether is that you can always buy more ether. If you lost exchange.eth, then there's no getting exchange.eth back, right? And so we need to be really careful with how we transfer these domains, and we want to understand this process, and we want to really be thankful for the community that's helping us make this happen. So with that being said, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button if this video helped you or inspired you or gave you any new information. It really helps me. It really supports the channel. It really helps other people get this information. And please subscribe to the channel so you can get notified for all the next videos that we have coming out. And so with that, thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing up and joining us for this video. We'll talk again soon. And until then, I'm glad we're minting coins. Thank you.